What's happening?
Uh-oh. Is it because Paimon overslept by 5 minutes?
Is everything ready?
Absolutely. You brought fewer people than I imagined.
Bring him over.
Grandpa! Why is there only...
Raman, I've always thought of you as a man of his word.
It's a one-for-one exchange. And let me put it this way. Agreeing to any kind of deal with the Dendro Archon...
You stay right there!
Playmate! What do you think you're doing? Don't you see this blade here?
You coward! Why are your hands shaking?
Wait a second! It's a earthquake!
This day's going just great.
The sand dune I saw an energy field. The village keeper protected it. It glowed green with dendro. Just like you said, it may well have been the remains of Lesser Lord Kusanali's power inside the scholar's body. The Dendro Archon.
Grandpa? Grandpa?
Hey, look around.
Did there used to be a temple here?
It seems that when the sand dune collapsed, it exposed these underground structures. The symbols on the gate belong to King Deshret's civilization. This structure must be ancient. It could have been an underground palace in the distance.
Oh, a miracle. Praise King Deshret!
What's he doing here?
They must have fallen down here with us. Most of them seem in really bad shape, except for him.
Mind your head.
No, this isn't the time for conflict. Our exalted lord has shown us the...
He's not actually gonna go in there.
As it happens, I want...
What are you doing?
Don't you think it's curious? 1 minute, Lesser Lord Kusanali's power protects us from harm, and the next, remnants of King Deshret's civilization appear. 2 major deities are vying to showcase their power to us. It would be a shame.
Paimon thought you weren't interested.
Indeed. In my view, gods are just a higher form of living being. Or creature, you could say. New discoveries are always worth investigating. Whether they have anything to do with gods is neither here nor there.
Raman, what are you gonna do about your men?
I'll just let them lay here. King Deshret will take care of his people. Right now, I'm going inside.
More companions! Hooray!
What's happening?
It's full of life here. This defies comprehension. It looked completely desolate from the outside. Yet, it flows with energy inside.
Yeah! And there's so many plants. It's so...
Sir Ram,
Huh?
do you see another Ramon here?
Are you mocking me?
Interpret it however you want. But there's something I'd like to draw your attention to. While this structure is clearly left over from King Deshret's civilization, the energy that flows in here is that of...
Whatever you say. It's not like
There's nothing to be angry about. Think of this as an...
It does seem kinda strange. If that's true, then...
Water guide you.
Hey! Ha! Yeah, 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 yeah. Ha!
Solidify!
I see everything. Make yourselves at home. Fire hazard.
Stabilize!
sight to see. King Deshret's splendor surrounds us.
There's so much vegetation here. It's different than what I expected.
Sure are a lot of plants for a desert.
That's what I call divine providence of King Deshret.
It's getting brighter! Oh, it looks so beautiful!
Wait, what's that?
A load of flowers. And it looks like there's something among...
These are King...
They left something behind.
What does it say?
Here lies our faithful priest Kasala. His wisdom is a miracle among the people, deserving of high praise and admiration.
You can read ancient...
Of course. Every student needs to master at least 20 languages before...
He's not serious, right?
There's still something off about this place. The scent of life.
Is this it?
Analyzing.
There seems to be a hidden message among these skeletal Excellent. There's a device from King Deshret's civilization in this gravesite. I'll transmit the information over.
Isn't sharing knowledge again?
Yes. However, under the circumstances, you'll understand after watching it.
Civilization is born of knowledge, but so too can knowledge be its demise. A disaster caught us unaware. It was knowledge that did not belong to this world. King Deshret brought this forbidden knowledge into our world, and it quickly spread like a plague. People's minds were filled with crazed whispers. Dark gray scales spread across their bodies. Even the land was stripped of its vigor. Only a desperate, deathly silence remained. Were it not for greater Lord Rukkhadevata from the forests, the damage would have been irreversible. She summoned the priests to build temples and infused into them the divine power of life. The disaster was miraculously tempered, and the embers of our civilization were preserved in Aru village. Alas, the miracle could not last. As long as forbidden knowledge continued to exist, it would forever blight this world. In the end, the proud king of the desert, my eternal lord, chose to sacrifice himself. I have spent my whole life since guarding one of these many temples. But now, my duty is coming to an end. As I close my eyes for the final time, the sight of that noble deity will appear in my vision once more. In helping King Deshret to eradicate forbidden knowledge, she exhausted her strength, and her form became that of a small child. How strange. Now that I think of her, I no longer have any fear of death, for I sense that the spirit of life will abide with me during my eternal sleep. Children of the desert, cling no longer to past grievances, but hold tight to the memory of this act of benevolence.
What was that?
The priest's...
No.
Greater Lord Rukkhadevata.
But this doesn't...
Was that the former Dendro Archon?
You might be distrustful of the Akasha, but there's no reason for you to doubt King Deshret's tech. You've just witnessed his priest's life.
I've never heard the surviving followers of King Deshret all gathered in Aru village. Our god did not make King Deshret's death the all but total annihilation of our civilization. We saw her as nothing more than a traitor who stabbed us in the back in our moment of crisis.
You were blinded by your prejudice.
If I hadn't seen this from... How could I ever begin to accept this? The truth is so far from what I've always known. Am I really supposed to believe...
Raman, that's enough. Give it a rest. You're starting to make a fool of...
My Aramites and I. What do we...
Hey, how you doing?
I'll live. I should probably go.
What's your next move gonna be?
Oh, I know what you're going to ask. I feel deeply ashamed, but please, give me some time. After everything that's happened...
It's not gonna...
Well, I guess that's for me to deal with. Dia, this is where our camp's...
When would be a good time for us to go?
Tomorrow. I'll convince everyone that we're... And I'll return every last one of your mad... sorry.
You seem to finally understand that our true enemy is the Sage.
Yes. The gods never gave up on anyone.
That must have been rough. But he's...
Raman's no fool. Being the leader of your own faction, it's too bad he was held back by his belief in King Deshret. But now that...
The outcome, at least...
We should get going too. Let's head back. Sino, we're leaving!
Stop yelling.
Raman,
Everything's been arranged. Someone will bring the village keepers...
I guess all I can say now is...
Don't mention it. I think we can both agree you would... But we share a common cause now.
Where are the perpetrators?
I'll bring you to them.
So these are the people who kidnapped the village keepers.
Oh no, it's the scribe!
There's no need to yell. No.
We've been all over the desert trying to...
That's right.
General Mom! Swift and painless!
Whoa. The moment they set eyes on Sino...
You should have known that I would be coming for you.
Wait, we were just following orders. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No, not Sino. He's gonna...
I could do worse.
Please have mercy.
Start talking. Otherwise...
So, your superiors have kept you quite busy recently.
They, wanted to extract canned knowledge.
Don't play dumb. They extract divine canned knowledge.
I really don't...
Well, you better start talking or...
You don't want to make things any more difficult for yourself, do ya?
Be my guest.
Uh-huh. That sure didn't sound like a fancy metaphor or anything.
How did you know?
There's no use hiding it now. Yes, you're right. The Academia is working on an important and potentially world-changing project. They are creating a new god. It may seem as if Sumeru's academics are thriving, but ever since the death of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, scholarly breakthroughs have been... The withering of Irminsul has been getting worse recently. The sages have tried everything they could think of, but nothing's worked. I'm always hearing them say things like...
Continue.
And then, someone from the Fatui showed up. They called him the Doctor. He brought a gnosis and said he wanted to borrow the Academia's... The Doctor was previously expelled from the Academia. At first, the sages looked down at him in disdain. But when he said he asked them...
This is what the arrogant ignorance at the extreme end of academia looks like.
First, the Academia spent a long time constructing a divine vessel, which was based on an exquisite humanoid puppet. After that, they harvested dreams via the Zeb-Zerus Festival Samsara. With the Doctor's help, and the Akasha now functioning at maximum efficiency, they were able to use it to extract the power from the Gnosis and convert it into a divine... Next, they decided that their new god needed to possess divine wisdom. For that to happen, they needed a huge quantity.
It adds up.
But how do you determine whether the knowledge extracted is of divine...
Call it an educated guess? The Academia has been trying to figure out the exact source of the Scholar's madness for centuries, but nobody can explain the cause of this phenomenon. Surely you can see what that implies, Scribe Al-Haytham. If it's knowledge no mortal can comprehend, then it must be something only gods are able to decipher. In other words, it's the source of the God of Wisdom's omniscience and
You must have noticed by now. The Academia doesn't care about who their god is. It's the ability to exercise control. It is as if they are cursed with a desire for omniscience and omnipotence that some organisms demonstrate phototaxis. This is but a form of...
Then what does Lesser Lord Kus... Is she not a true god present in this world? If you already have a new...
From the beginning, the Academia has never treated her as When the Academia first discovered Lesser Lord Kusanali, the newborn god of wisdom, the sages hoped that she would be as wise as... They found that at the time, she possessed no more intelligence than any ordinary human child. The sages never had a ruder awakening. This forced them to accept that Greater Lord Ruka Devata, not to mention that Lesser Lord Kusanali's Gnosis, had been used to power the Akasha this entire time. By herself, she has neither an Archon's raw power, nor the spectacular insight expected. Slowly but surely, people began to forget about her.
So...
All right, let's try to keep our cool. If everyone's in a bad mood, Rahman, give me a few men to help us escort the village keepers back to the village. And these two
Sure.
Stabilize! Gather!
Time for a light show!
Stabilize!
Wheel of life. Fire hazard! Up and away! A festive reprise!
Gather!
Opening box of Adepti-Trix. I see everything! Yeah! Yeah! The Temple of Wisdom! Everyone hold hands!
Stabilize! Order guide you!
Faster, life goes on. Time for a light show! Hey! Wheel of life. Add Astra. Thank you for Add Astra.
The village keepers you've found have all been returned to their homes, and each one has a dedicated caregiver to look after them. The 2 new scholars are being kept under close supervision, too. Really great work, everyone.
The atmosphere is so heavy. Hey! Say something! Stop spacing out!
Come on, is there nothing left to talk about? In that case...
Or I can go...
Oh! Paimon!
Do you have any plans, Traveler?
Gods above, you're not talking about work, are you?
So you were still withholding some information?
Even though we lived through all of this firsthand, it still feels super surreal.
What a whirlwind of a story. I felt like I was holding my breath the whole time.
It seems like there'll be more issues to face in the days ahead than I'd anticipated.
Still, now's a good time to make our next move. Now that Ramon's joined us, we'll be an even stronger team.
It's time to make a plan.
Indeed. These events are a flagrant transgression of the rules in every sense. We cannot allow it to continue.
So, everyone...
Crush the sages and rescue our god. That is our ultimate goal.
Well, let's brainstorm a little more about what other resources...
The next time we gather here, we must have a
Yep, it'll work out.
are like paintings in the sky.
Candace, we're here! Has everyone arrived?
Everyone is already waiting inside.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's join them!
Please, wait a moment. Before attending the meeting,
What do you need?
promise me that you won't commit to anything too reckless.
What do you think?
Okay.
Everyone's here so early.
We already discussed things a bit.
Hey, where have you been? I've missed you too.
Are you ready?
Very well.
Are you sure this is gonna work?
I gotta admit, it's bold.
The point of discussion is to arrive at a solution. Let's cut the small talk and move to the...
You're making Paimon.
You're finally done.
I have some other stuff to take care of. Come on, don't give me that face. I know
That's what I wanted to hear. Well, traveler, Paimon, judging from your expressions, the meeting must have been quite productive.
You can tell?
I'm not that good at scheming or strategy, but I can sense people's emotions. And based on your reaction, things must have gone quite well.
Paimon.
To be honest, I feel the same. But you're already some of the most...
Candace.
Your deeds speak for themselves.
Candace, we stayed behind to tell you that, although you won't be coming with us, we'll be sure to...
I'm very glad to hear. I've said the same thing to everyone here today as I said to you when you arrived. Only when you're safe can the plan be successful. So you're welcome. And thank you for taking my advice. Good luck. With...
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'll hit them!
Have you finished saying your goodbye?
Yeah! Also,
Yes, she did. But I think my point also our plan is not child's play. We won't be able to achieve anything if we're simply careful. I hope this is clear to you.
huh? Shouldn't you be saying something more?
Didn't we already do that during...
You can never have enough words of
In that case, Candace can cuddle you to your heart's content while I continue to remind you of the We all have our jobs to do, after all. It's like how some people can be put in charge of logistics.
Speaking of the front lines,
Of course. But the advantage of not being a mercenary is that I get to stay in a safer place and offer my strategic insight. Just think about that mercenary who lost his mind. Mercenary groups are facing constant danger
well, being a scholar is all...
I'm not like the rest of them. Even among members of the same species, some will exhibit...
This guy. Paimon still remembers when the...
All intellectuals are lunatics in the eyes of fools. I'll take that as a Do you remember the record we saw in the King Deshret ruins? It meant you have a good memory. Forbidden knowledge has the power to drive people insane, but this fact has never been shared with the public. Even I, who has worked in the academia for some... I think those mad scholars and mercenaries we encountered may have all fallen victim to the corrupting qualities of forbidden knowledge. But the academia has always held a different view. They have always believed that symptoms of madness are a side effect of human contact with divine knowledge. Come to think of it, perhaps the academia has also never understood the true nature of forbidden knowledge and the withering, Elazar, and the sandstorms. Don't you think what is happening right now across Sumeru is rather similar to the forbidden knowledge pollution that occurred in the desert?
But, at least, that's what wait a second.
Ah, you've connected the dots. The cause of Irminsul's illness may precisely be the pollution from...
But if that's the case, what should we do? This is huge!
Wait. Why do you think Lesser Lord Kusanali would have a solution to this situation?
You mean, it's related to the scene you saw when you passed out in the Avidia forest? That whole...
In that case, it's imperative that we rescue Lesser Lord Kusanali. Only by working with her to save Irminsul, to make sure we're still on track, I would like to check on the state of some of our preparatories.
Where are we going?
To an Eremite base. Oh, you made it.
Huh? What are...
I gave them some techno...
Ah, it's the scribe. And is that the traveler I see?
How's the work going?
Ah, yes! We have fixed the devices according to your instructions. One of them is already ready for use.
Aren't those devices for can knowledge extract...
Look here.
Huh? More can knowledge?
What's that look on your face?
Paimon's a little scared, but...
That's an interesting response. Anyway, we're not going to use this just yet. As I mentioned during the meeting, this knowledge capsule contains a decree I drew up in the past. The academia should also have their own copy. And according to the plan Traveler, I want you to record something into the... Do you believe we can save Lesser Lord Kusanali? Good. Conviction is the most important part of all of this. Now, please get ready.
You want us to record our conviction into the...
Yes.
Paimon...
I understand, but trust me, Paimon, this is something we have to do. It's best if you can do as I say. Because, to achieve this impossible task, it sounds like you'll need to fool your own heart first. Although it may feel like a trick, self-encouragement may be the most important tool we have.
Paimon can see the point you're trying to make.
Imagine this. We have orchestrated our plan and successfully rescued Lesser Lord Kusanali. As a result, everything went without a hitch, and everyone recognizes and praises our Now, open your eyes. Here.
What's this?
Read it out loud. It's done.
Is your head okay? Does anything...
It's just a recording. There's...
But what was the point of...
And that's perfectly fine. In any case, these capsules aren't meant to...
Huh?
Have you forgotten? Our plan needs to account for those who have long relied on the Akasha. You may find it hard to believe, but for those people, everything the Akasha transmits to them is nothing Imagine if you've been using a device like the Akasha since the day you were born. And this device has always supported you during times of need. After all that time, what do you think you'd become?
A fool?
A slave to order, and that's why rules are... In addition, those who understand the rules can delineate boundaries.
But...
You could say that those kinds of ambiguous zones can be very... interesting.
Things you're interested in, or...
Anyway, that's enough chit-chat. I'm going to take those two to work on some small projects. You can head to Caravan Rebot and start preparing for the next... We're going to tinker with the Akasha terminal and make a few...
The weather is lovely and warm. Things are about to start getting live.
I thought we agreed on a plan. How can you go back on your word?
The plan is too radical and carries a high risk for casualties.
But it's still the best plan we have. is a former Matra.
I did. And that's how I saw the danger behind these so-called advantages.
Huh? Why are you guys arguing?
My friend, you're just in time. Why don't you help?
We agreed to work out a plan at the meeting. As mercenaries, you're familiar with the local environment, so you'll take care of the specifics. Had I known Al Haytham would give you those kinds of suggestions, I would not have agreed to the plan.
Look, you already know that we're all on the same side here, don't you?
Mercenaries place a lot of importance on their bonds of friendship, but also will not hesitate to make sacrifices if they deem the situation to be sufficiently
Seems you really do understand.
Traveler, Paimon. Rahman's plan is to have me work with the Caravan Reebok guards in my capacity as a Matra. We will arrest the mercenaries and escort them into some—
Wait! How can we work—
We can't get through that wall easily, remember? Caravan Reebok would never let so many unregistered members of the Eremites enter Sumeru City. My plan will clear us of any possible suspicion, and also let us enter the city as a big group. There is no better way.
That also sounds like something Al Haytham—
Doesn't Al Haytham know how dangerous—
Of course he does. He told me. There is no perfect plan. He also said that with the help of Sino and the Traveler, I never blindly trust anyone, and I've always had a good eye for people. I think he made a number of valid points. It's my own choice to trust you.
If I make the arrests alone, I can control myself and prevent you from getting hurt. But I can't guarantee that kind of discipline from the guards. To make the whole thing more convincing, you'll need to resist to some degree. Casualties are inevitable once push comes to shove. I'm okay with the deaths of enemies. But now that we're allies—
I can't believe a Matra would actually care about us. I've lived a hard life.
I've always treated my allies with honesty and respect.
Now you're making this hard for me.
Hey, is there something we can do to help?
I knew you would say that.
We can help fight some of the mercenaries, which should reduce the number of times you'll have to struggle directly with the guards. That should help at least a little bit.
Sino, on behalf of my people, I thank you for your kindness. But this is a mission we cannot turn our backs on. We strongly value the lives of our friends, but the goal we are about to achieve is even more important. We have no fear of casualties, because we crave the spoils of victory. So please, lend us your support. We will show you the determination of us desert dwellers.
Well, now that you've put it that way, I can no longer refuse. But remember, you need to follow the plan and not do anything reckless. Candace made it very clear that we can only achieve our goals if we can ensure our safety. Since you and I both recognize the significance of this operation, there should be no more animosity between the followers of the Dendro Archon and those of King Deshret. Everyone's life is equally important.
Okay, you have a deal.
The guards should be stationed in the courtyard nearby. You can find them there.
I see everything.
Guards!
General Mahamatra! To what do we owe the honor?
Keep your voice down. This is a secret operation. I'm going to arrest a large criminal gang near this location. According to the Academia's Guide and Regulations on Secret Operations, I have the right to ask for the
Of course. Mahamatra Sino's order is the Academia's order. Just let us know what you need. But who exactly are you planning to arrest, and how many people are you expecting? Depending on the scale—
They're a squad of Eremites whose number is comparable to Ain el Akmar in Port Ormos. They're involved in the theft and resale of supplies from the Academia.
As many as Ain al-Ahmar. This should definitely be classified as a joint operation.
Then I suggest that you report this to your superiors as soon as possible.
Got it. Please wait a moment. I'll contact them immediately.
Because this is work. Because I trust you.
Paimon can't believe you're still in the mood to chat. Aren't you even a little worried? What if these guards already know that you have even if that guard doesn't know, they're superior—
We discussed this, remember?
The caravan rebot operation is of great importance. But don't worry. The guard—
How can you be so sure?
First, the other Matra still don't know why Sino has left, which proves that the Academia has been cut.
Second, this is a crucial moment for the Academia's God creation plan. If something were to happen to the General Mahamatra, no matter how you look at it, they don't seem interested in sharing the news of Sino's—
A reasonable inference.
Which brings us to our next issue. I'm sure some of you have been wondering if the prediction function of the Akasha—
The Akasha is still in operation, so I must Actually, considering the power of the Akasha,
I've given that a lot of thought. For now, I don't think you'll— If you remember, when you first came to Aru Village, all your actions and routes were predicted by the Akasha. It even gave that information to those who kidnapped the village keep, but things like that never happened again after we met up with the Traveler.
That's true. But why?
Look at it from a different angle. Why do you think the Akasha will predict your actions?
Because my personal data has been entered into the Akasha.
That's true, but the key to this question is, haven't you ever thought about it? Just how can it do this in the first place?
Because the Akasha controls the entirety of—
The Academia firmly believes that all human action—
By sorting and analyzing entered data, the Akasha can derive— However, at the risk of sounding like an advocate for fallacies, can everyone truly be considered logical at all times? Emotions are part of our behavioral logic, but can you guarantee that every experience of the same joy or pain would be equally intense? How can our feelings and opinions be predictable down to the letter in every single— Sino, in the past, you've always worked alone. In the absence of another person who could sway you or your thoughts, the Akasha could produce predictions that were similar to your real-life behavioral principles. Decisive and principled, you were used to solving problems alone. That's why the Akasha could figure you out. But now, you've joined a team. And I believe the Akasha hasn't yet figured out the full composition of it. Our thoughts and logic have intermingled and weaved themselves together to become a complicated, chaotic mess. Any one of us could potentially disagree with another. The Akasha lacks data on these interactions, and it's impossible for it to predict your actions in the future based on your decisions in the past. After all, there's probably a limit to just how much we can be modeled or controlled by data. So, in my opinion, you're probably safe for now.
Makes sense to me. I agree. The Akasha is not alive, and I don't think we can be completely controlled by something without a mind of its own.
Is that so? I guess there are things that even the Akasha cannot calculate, and people will not be forever trapped by the past.
Paimon's so glad that this is settled.
Next time, pay attention during our meetings.
Will do.
Just remember to stay vigilant.
Footsteps!
General Mahamatra, we were not expecting your presence here. I'm the security officer of the Grand Deshret Desert District. My name is Luxembargo.
This is my assistant, the Traveler. She will be working with me. The construct next to her is for her work.
Beep! Construct, beep!
What a great honor to meet you. Your golden hair is as bright as the sun. And...
Have you made a decision regarding the matter I mentioned to your subordinate?
It seems to be a dire situation, so of course you will have our full cooperation. To be perfectly honest, I've always longed to go on a mission with someone as well known as yourself.
There's no need for flattery.
Yes, sir.
Take your most elite platoon and follow me to the eastern side of the district.
Understood.
Map.
Hurry, bring the map!
In 2 days, we will engage Rahman's Eremites and capture all of them. Any questions about the time or...
None at all, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Maybe hanging around the General Mahamatra isn't so bad after all. Everyone's so respectful towards us.
This is all due to the absolute authority of the Academia. And now, we're going to strike. Get ready.
Because things are so, ergo they are such.
Crumble! Rise!
Something on your mind again? It's time for the operation! Let's go meet Sino in the desert!
Wait a moment.
Ah! Oh, it's you.
You're my assistant, remember? Being my assistant, you must stay with me.
It's General Mahamatra and his assistants.
We meet again.
You're here early.
It's to show how important we think the operation is. Since this is a big case for the Academia, we are prepared to give it our best.
I'm glad to hear your sense of resolve. Remember, they are our only leads for the case. If they die, we will be unable to continue the investigation.
Understood.
Everyone! The Eremites are approaching from the west!
Make preparations and be ready for combat! Halt!
Oh? What a warm welcome! What do you want? Judging from those shiny weapons in your hands, it seems like you're not interested in a deal.
Rahman, the Academia has caught wind of your smuggling and illicit sales. If you value your life, I advise you to surrender.
Who are you supposed to be? A Matra from the Academia? I can't believe you came all this way just to catch us.
I'm not here to talk.
Oh. Nobody's given me this much time of day since I became... Brothers! For that slight, let's wash our blades with their blood.
Faster? Okay, faster. Everyone move in! Fuse is lit! Go Bishop down! Rise.
Solidify!
Hey! Fire hazard!
I will have order. Gather.
Even bedrock can be turned to dust.
Time for a light show!
It's over.
We have subdued them. The operation